Greetings, dear suckers. My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. Last time, we severely judged some people for doing a poor job of taking care of their animals. And then we spent about a half hour just reading a whole bunch of books. Anyway, now to talk about them. Let's talk about historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow. Oh my god, you read that? That book was assigned as punishment if we misbehaved in school. Skill issue, Stella. Get good. It's an excellent sleep aid. NyQuil and melatonin have nothing on historical buildings of Scarlet Hollow. Rumor has it that nobody has read it from cover to cover. Well, I've put the lie to that. You guys are missing out. That's one of my favorite books here. Such rich history. Guess we're just kindred spirits, Joe Bob. Sure. Kindred spirits? Why don't you put together a private reading list so I can get to know you better? That sounds really nice, actually. I'd love to. I can never get people to read some of the drier books in the library, and it'd be wonderful to have someone to talk about them with. Have you tried soaking them? You know, I could always put together a reading list for you. What's the matter? Jealous? What's going on here? Did I miss something? Don't worry, Kanika. I'm sure we can include you. Anyway, Stella, when were you going to tell me that the mayor is a dog? Haha, darn. I was hoping it'd be a surprise. Scarlet Hollow hasn't had a human mayor since the 1920s. Yeah, if you were hoping the mayor might be able to help us out here, you're out of luck. I'm afraid it's true. Mayor Jimmy is a rascal and not to be trusted. Now, hold up, Kanika. Can't Joe Bob talk to animals? Maybe he can get the mayor to help. Oh, true. Stella, how would that even work? It's not like we can just tell people the mayor told Joe Bob to listen to them. Well, I mean, we can. We just gotta spread my reputation far and wide. But even besides that, who knows what the mayor might know? I can't believe I'm even talking about this. You're right, though. You're right. Back to our mayorless drawing board. What happened to the estate? I mean, I can probably guess. At some point, the hill it was built on started falling apart. I think it's pretty stable at this point, though. Relatively. Is it? Stella, you've seen the place. And half of it is still mostly okay. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, Kanika. Why don't people go to church here? Because there is no God here. We've just never really had a good pastor around these parts. Not as long as I've been around, at least. And I'm not really much of a church person anyways. Who has the time? The building gives off weird vibes, too. And not in the fun, haunted way. Even the hospital here is named after my family. And I know it's in the name, but calling it a hospital is generous. Right now, it's a one-woman medical clinic. If any serious emergencies happen these days, we've got to call an ambulance from out of town. I'm sure that won't be important later. That's where Reese and his mom live. She's a town doctor, though these days she doesn't really see a lot of patients. The Tremaine homestead seems like the only thing here that doesn't have the Scarlet name stamped on it. Yeah, I think they've been around these parts even longer than your family, though they're the Tremaines and the Callaways now. They literally split their farmhouse in half over that schism. many such cases. Duke's actually on the Calloway side of the family. Huh. He and Bo are the last two left. Huh. About the coal mines. So about the coal mines here. Kanika visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel for the guys who work up there. I could never. Oh? Hang on. Huh. I didn't notice that before. Interesting. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevasse. Oh, I bet you do. What happened after the mine collapse? The book just kind of glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. Yeah, the Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. No offense or anything. I'm sure Tabby runs the mines better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. There's a reason she and I don't talk. History tends to be written by winners. Kind of. Maybe there's more to Charles Shaw's story. There always is, because, of course, people aren't stories. Then these dusty old books are letting on. Normally I'd be inclined to agree with you there, but we're talking about an old-timey coal boss. I'd be shocked if he wasn't cutting corners. Well, maybe, but, well, they were all old-timey coal bosses back then, and not everyone had their mine collapse, if you catch my drift. Joe Bob does make a fair point. Shaw was certainly a problematic figure, but there might be other details that were lost to time. Sure, but the guy was run out of town on a rail. That's not a figure of speech. Back then, they actually tied you to a rail and ran you out of town. There's a big mural of it all over on the far wall. He got off easy, if you ask me. I'll bet. After all, when has mob justice ever not been an indication that the person was guilty? It's never gone wrong. I guess we've got to have someone we can gleefully talk about horrible things happening to, otherwise civilization will collapse. Maybe the ditchlings are here to foretell another collapse? What if the ditchlings are coming from the mines? What if there's something toxic in the mines poisoning the town? Wayne seems sick. I'm not sure how they tie in, but the mines seem important. The whole town is built around them. Or the mines seem too obvious. It's gotta be something else. Seems like the most interesting thread. That creep who keeps coming around my mom's tea room? He snuck up on us last night and called out Joe Bob by name. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with him. Maybe there's some sort of parasite down in the mines. Maybe it infected Wayne, and maybe Wayne infected the local wildlife. Huh. Yeah, that could work. I guess. Any luck with Rosalina? Not yet. I knew a teen would be a handful, but I didn't think it'd happen overnight. I'll probably head out once you're all done and check in on our usual haunts. Alright. Stella, what was that you were saying about nuclear incidents? You were talking about that Goldsboro thing, right? Yeah. Apparently in the 60s, a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke up midair and dropped a couple of bombs. Oh, that kind of nuclear incident. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Fascinating bit of history there. The first of the two bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. And the second of the two? At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but it later came out that the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch, which failed to trigger on the descent. And 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. Huh. What, the search teams couldn't fucking find it? That's concerning. Maybe something carried it off. Right. Its conventional explosive disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. Oh, okay. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. Oh, thanks. That's great. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you say they... I'm sorry. Did you say they buried it? Do y'all need something dug up? Because if so, I'm your gal. Sure. Well, Goldsboro is over 300 miles from here. I don't think we have to be worried about that. Hopefully. Yeah, that's fair. It would make sense for ditchlings to be here specifically if that was the case too. We also really shouldn't be looking too much into this whole disaster angle. Whatever these creatures are, they're biological. So, what if they were spawned from the bomb? What if they were spawned from the radiation from the bomb? You never know with radiation. Ha! Exactly, Stella, exactly. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you. It doesn't make monsters. And a 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. It just melts you is just as inaccurate as saying that it makes monsters, Kanika. You never know. There could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up. I've missed this. Do you think there's a cult here? You lean in and quietly whisper to Stella and Kanika. Do you guys think there's, like, a cult here? Let's just leave it at that. None of these options seem particularly good. If there were a cult here, I think we know about it. Yeah, that's what they all say. So, Silas Scarlet. What a revisionist biography. Really glosses over all the war crimes to paint a picture of a self-made man. It's a perfect example of why you should use multiple sources for your research instead of trusting the first thing you read on a subject. Yep, dude was a monster. Sorry you're related to him. Okay. Do you think the ditchlings are here for retribution? You'd think they would have come a little sooner if that were the case. This town is stuck in the past and built on atrocities. It's already practically collapsing onto itself. No offense. But maybe that's why the ditchlings are here. None taken. Why would the ditchlings be here now, though? Scarlet Hollow's been like this for as long as I can remember. Good question. Alright. So, Appalachian folk monsters. Hopkinsville goblins were silvery, small, and traveled in a pack. There's a lot of similarities to ditchlings there. Those are 100% confirmed aliens, though. Oh, shut up! Unless... The Hopkinsville goblins were just a couple of owls some drunk farmers saw at 3 AM. They're not aliens. Before you say it, no. Ditchlings aren't aliens either. Ah, but... since we've established that ditchlings exist, the Hopkinsville goblins could have been the drunk farmers seeing them at 3 AM. And then giving accounts of them that were misinterpreted. Or they could have just been a different breed of ditchlings that had slightly different features. Or maybe that artist's depiction was just way off. I don't know. It doesn't matter if either of them are aliens. What matters here are the similarities between them. It doesn't matter if the goblins were actually aliens. It doesn't matter if the ditchlings are aliens. What matters here are the similarities between them. Alright, I can respect that. But even if the Hopkinsville goblins were ditchlings, there's not a whole lot to go on there. That's a big if. Fair enough. It'd probably rule out the whole portent of doom thing. I'm already ruling that out. Yeah, good point. Well, unless there was some catastrophe around when the Hopkinsville goblins popped up. I don't know. Wampus cats kinda sound like they could be mountain lions. Voice like a woman crying out, somewhere between person-sized and cat-sized. Definitely. They are 100% mountain lions. Kanika, you know there are no mountain lions up here. I thought you were supposed to be a skeptic. For fuck's sake, Stella. Oh, Stella. One of these days you'll trust us. But the myths are old, right? Mountain lions didn't go extinct in the Appalachians that long ago. Those legends just haven't died off yet. That's a fair point, Kanika. Almost every cryptid can be tracked down to either a hoax or someone getting confused about a perfectly normal animal. Sometimes both. Or, in some cases, plants. Or, indeed, hallucinations. Bigfoot, for instance, started as a prank. Then folks saw bears walking around on their hind legs and got freaked out, and now here we are. Yeah, old Ray Wallace's family, after he died, revealed that he had been... that the whole thing was actually just a prank he did for fun. You'll eat those words when I get the first clear footage of a Bigfoot. And on that day, Satan will skate to work. If you manage that, I will print out a piece of paper that says Bigfoot isn't real and literally eat it. I promise. I'm holding you to it. Stella, there was literally a mountain lion in the ditchling nest last night. What? No way. Let me check the footage real quick. Stella pulls out her phone. Well, there aren't any alive ones in these parts. Oh. Come on, Stella. You are the worst, Stella. The absolute worst. I guess that's the best we'll be able to do for her. I think the ditchlings are Tommyknockers? Do you think Wayne is a Tommyknocker? Sure, why not? Maybe he's the ghost of a dead miner. There's something seriously wrong with the guy, and we should definitely look into it, but I don't think he's a ghost. Yeah, ghosts tend to be tied to a specific place. Then maybe he's haunting the whole town. He's not a ghost because ghosts aren't real. I've also seen him, like, touch stuff. Could be a poltergeist. There's some striking similarities between Mothman and ditchlings. Both of them are portents of doom. Mothman, love that guy. There's a whole subgenre of cryptids that serve as bad omens, but the disaster angle is definitely a clear connection. Maybe Mothman is what happens when a ditchling is all grown up. Yeah, maybe they go into a cocoon and then emerge as a Mothman. But they're already reproducing. And they don't have wings. And they're pale and blobby. Huh. They have a certain caterpillar vibe, don't they? Exactly! Why am I even engaging with you on this? Portents of doom aren't real. Why is the Jersey Devil even in this book? The Pine Barrens are specifically not in Appalachia. Because he's cool? The Jersey Devil is like the granddaddy of North American cryptids, and it's kinda close to Appalachia. Yeah. Bah. Back when I was a kid, I always wanted one as a pet. Okay then, that's rather suspect. Stella, that beast would tear you to shreds. I'm all the pet you need. I have never heard of ginseng babies before this. Oh yeah, that myth is pretty buried. The author managed to unearth it for this book. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Get it? No. But seriously, whoever wrote this book definitely stretched things out so they could include some of their favorite stuff. Like how there's Jersey Devil's in it. Creepy, but incapable of screaming. Yeah, that's one of those things that even I don't buy into. Yeah, like I said before, way too easy to prove if it were real. I wonder if there are any parallels between the Bell Witch and whatever is haunting Oscar's house. Nah, maybe, who knows. That's a thought. We can circle back on that tomorrow. Please, for my own sanity, let's just stay focused on just the one paranormal incident. Which is why we're circling back on it tomorrow. Let's move on. The mines are the obvious common thread here. The mines are the obvious common thread between everything we've researched. Between Wayne, the old collapse, and the fact that the whole town has practically been built around them. They're the smartest place to start our investigation. Good idea. There's an awful lot of mines-related stuff in my notes. We can poke around, find out if anyone's seen anything weird. Just to clarify, you two are suggesting we go to question some of the miners, right? We are not poking around unprepared in the actual mines, right? 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 Yeah, totally. 100%. Yeah, totally. 100%. I would never. We don't even have a good reason to go down there. Good. Let's keep it that way. You know how I feel about mines. No, I don't. I promise, Neeks. We're just going to question some of the miners. You know, right up until there's a horrible collapse and, like, the guy's kid winds up being trapped in there or something, and we have to go in and bravely rescue a bunch of people or some shit. You know, right up until that happens. And if that questioning gives us a good reason to poke around, say, a cool abandoned coal mine, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You can cross that bridge when we come to it. I am not going underground. Huh. What even is that? Claustrophobia? Clythrophobia? Bathophobia? No, that's a different thing. Maybe taphophobia, or fear of being buried alive, but... oh, right! Spelunkophobia. Fear of caves. I'm just messing with you. We'll stick to the surface. Yeah, and hopefully we can find out what's wrong with Wayne while we're at it. Maybe Tabitha can help us out. Ha! No. I don't think she'd be super jazzed to see any of us snooping around the mines. I can't imagine what she'd do if we actually bothered her while she's trying to run the place. She does get a little grumpy when she's at work. And when she's going to work. And when she's out of work. She gets grumpier at work. I'm pretty sure snark is that girl's baseline level of existence. Chatting over dinner might be a better way to get to know her. If you're okay with eating boxed mac and cheese. I've had worse. But enough gossip. We can sneak around the mines, no problem. I'll make sure to keep my eyes peeled for her. She won't even know we were there. I'll bet. Look at us. Going out on a caper together. I missed this. I missed it too. I mean, sure, it's not under the best circumstances, but I've been so wrapped up in running the store, I didn't realize how much I missed being able to hang out with you. Though, there is something missing. Reese. I really miss that dude. I can't believe how long it's been since we've seen each other. Have you seen him lately? Nope. I've tried to plan stuff, but he's been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. That poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him. He seemed excited to meet Joe Bob. Maybe we'll finally get him to leave his little cave. Hell yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's roll out. See ya, Oscar. We'll let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. I'll keep y'all posted. Alright, finally, at long last, after 2 full episodes, we are finally out of the library. So you know what that means? Now's the perfect time to end the video. Why? Because this would make a good thumbnail for the next video. That's why. Anyway. Hey, it's more of a reason than I have for most arbitrary points that I stop. Next time, we're gonna finally figure out what the fuck is Reese's deal. My guess? Were Mountain Lion. But until then, I have been Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And remember, dislike the video, unsubscribe if you're for some reason subscribed, and leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. Fuck you all so much for watching, and so long, suckers.